Hey guys, welcome back. I don't even know how to start this video off. By the title, you already know what this video is, and you are just as shocked as I am, maybe even a little less as shocked as I am. We are expecting baby number 5. Yes, you guys, the 5th baby is on the way. Ready or not, here it comes. I'm going to share with you guys my reaction, the reality of how I took this pregnancy, finding out I was pregnant, a little bit of backstory, and kind of how I think this happened. I mean, we all know how it happens, right? Unless you're the Virgin Mary, we all know how these things come to be. But for somebody that practices natural family planning, that has been pretty successful with planning out the pregnancies that I've had, none were like an extreme surprise. I basically knew when I was fertile and I got pregnant. And so this was a surprise. Like, this was a surprise. Knocked me off my feet, take my breath away. Holy crap, is this test broken? We need to go get another one because I think this thing is faulty. There is no possible way. This was a surprise. So that is exactly what today's video is about. We're just gonna be talking all things pregnancy. I searched and Googled and YouTubed unexpected pregnancy, coping with unexpected surprise pregnancy. I wanted to hear other people's stories, and it was like most of the stories that I came across were women that didn't have any kids, that weren't planning on having any kids, that were kind of just in a different life than I am in. I didn't really hear any stories or see any videos of people that had already had children that were then processing a surprise baby that they did not see was on the horizon. So I wanted to sit down and I just wanted to be honest and share with you guys all the things on this surprise miracle that is just making its way into this world, whether we were ready for it or not, and take you guys along this next 8 months as we prepare to bring another baby into our family. Okay, so you will take a picture because you will never see me drinking this stuff ever again. This is Canada Dry. I am a Verner's girl. I grew up in Michigan, Verner's all the way. But Verner's is just too sweet for me right now. So we are drinking Canada Dry because it just has a little bit more of a ginger kick to it. All right, so towards the middle of December, I had started working out. We got a treadmill. I'd been running. I'd really gotten serious with implementing intermittent fasting, and I was really just spending a lot of time focusing on myself, focusing on my fitness, and really just taking care of my health, and I was feeling so good. If you guys are new to my channel, I have 4 kids, and they are from 2 up to 7, and so I have like 15 months between my first 2, and then 18 months between those 2, and then like 2.5 years between my last 2. So we had them pretty close together in age, and for a while I felt like it was almost impossible for me to really take care of myself, especially in like the lifestyle that we lived. I homeschool. My husband is like the main income provider for our family. I felt like it was very difficult for me to really implement going to the gym, doing all these extra things to take care of myself. And honestly, you guys, mentally, I felt like I was exhausted at the thought of that. So that was kind of a roadblock for me for a while. So finally I got to this place in December. Well, it was probably a little before December, but we got a treadmill in December, and I just got into this routine of really taking care of myself, and I was loving it. I was running every day, I was juicing, I was just taking such good care of myself. My kids and I got into a good rhythm with homeschool, and I just felt like our family was finally, like, we were on cruise control. It felt really good. And now I'm looking back laughing because we all know that only lasts for so long, you know, at least in my life with my experience of how the Lord works in my life. But I honestly was just embracing it. It felt so nice to get into a rhythm of finally taking care of myself. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean it in like, I felt like a person again. I was just feeling so good. So the first week in February hit and I was waiting on my period to start. And it hadn't started and I was about a week late, which for me is not normal. But I really was thinking that with intermittent fasting and working out and changing my lifestyle, that it really had just thrown my hormones off because I was feeling so much better from it. And I just kind of just kept chalking it up to that. I really did not think that I was pregnant. Just for, I guess, to share a little bit more detail but not go too into detail, I chart, and I have charted. I've used natural family planning and charted my cycle for a couple years now to try to avoid pregnancy during my fertile windows and all of those kinds of things. And so I do believe that my hormones were thrown off in the month of January, I think. Yeah, in the month of January, I do believe that my hormones were thrown off. When I'm timing out when conception occurred, just looking at our dates over the month, it would be highly unlikely for me to have gotten pregnant. Now, anything is possible, and I know those guys can live forever. But I have a very strong feeling that I ovulated twice in the month of January, which is just a little mind-blowing to me. But if you do have a huge lifestyle change and you're working out and you're fasting and doing all these things, it can throw your body into a little bit of a tailspin and throw things off. So there is a chance that I did ovulate twice in the month of January, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So fast forward to the first week in February, and I still had not gotten my period. I was super moody, you guys. I was like so PMS-y, I felt crampy. I really was thinking, my period is on the horizon. Like it's just around the corner. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up. I even got up one morning and put my Diva cup in because I was certain that I was gonna start my period. And then halfway through the day I went to go take it out and change it and there was nothing in there. So being that I have had 4 kids and I'm pretty in tune with my body and with my cycles, I went ahead and checked my cervix because I knew what my cervix should feel like if I was about ready to start my period. And that was my first sign. It didn't feel like I was going to start my period. So once again, I was thinking, well, maybe it's just my crazy hormones. You know, I know it's possible to skip a period sometimes when you're doing intermittent fasting, when your body is adjusting. And so I waited a couple more days, and it was actually a night where my husband had taken the boys to a family friend's house for a party get-together they were having. I was exhausted we were at my grandparents' house during the day and we had church in the morning, and so I stayed home with the girls. And I went to go get the girls in the bathtub, and the thought just like crossed my mind, I still haven't started my period. I'll just take a test. I'll just take a test for peace of mind. So I reached up into my closet and I found a little dollar store cheapy test. I had 2 of them and they were left over from I don't even know when, but I decided I would take one. And so I went ahead and I took the test. I set it down and I went to go finish taking care of the girls, and I honestly kind of forgot that I had taken the test. I got them all ready, I sat down and read them a book, and then I ran into my bathroom to get some of the flossers for their teeth, and then caught sight of the test that was sitting on the counter. And there were 2 lines. There were 2 very prominent lines. My heart fell to my foot. I felt like I was shocked is an understatement. I immediately thought, it's an old test, it doesn't work. Maybe it was sitting there too long and this is an evap line, which it was not an evap line. I mean, this was a dark line. It was a dark line. But I think just in the chaos and just disbelief of the moment, I immediately grabbed the other test. I made myself pee, even if I didn't have anything left in me. I was like, girl, we are getting this out. I'm gonna prove that I am not pregnant. I took the test, I sat and watched it, and it was one of those moments when the test line comes up faster than the control line does. And so I knew without a doubt that I was in fact pregnant. Now, I do not recommend Testing, especially if it's an unexpected pregnancy, if you're gonna need some time to process. I don't suggest ever taking a test when you have kids around, when you have to function as an adult, because it was so hard for me to even just finish getting the girls in bed. I was like hyperventilating. I had so many thoughts going through my mind. I could not process. When John came home, we had the conversation, and it's funny, I don't know if it's because he doesn't know my cycles, or all he knows is that we get pregnant really easily, and we have had 4 kids, 5 pregnancies close together. We had a miscarriage in there as well. So maybe that's just where his mind was, but he was not even surprised. And I just remember looking at his face waiting for this reaction. And he was just like, okay, cool. Like, he was so excited. There was no kind of moment to process. And I remember just looking at him thinking, that's it? And he was so confused, like, am I not supposed to be excited? What are you wanting from me? What kind of, you could tell he was treading the waters, trying to figure out, did I say something wrong, And at this point, I was just trying to process the fact that we were going to have another baby. We were sitting inside of my closet, and I was sitting on the floor of my closet. Just to be real with you guys, I was sobbing. I was just in disbelief, and I know the hormones played a huge part in it too, but I was crying, and I immediately told John I was feeling so good. I was working out, I was taking care of myself. I'm on such a good routine, I feel good mentally, and now I'm pregnant again. And I'm being vulnerable with you guys sharing this because this is the reality of having a family, of getting pregnant unexpectedly. We all have to be able to process. And I am so thankful for the close friends that I have, that I reached out to, that just encouraged me and affirmed me that it was okay to process. It was okay to cry about the unexpected, to still embrace the unexpected, but process it. And they just assured me that it didn't mean that I didn't love this baby that was inside of me. It just meant that I was surprised because my plans were real different from the Lord's. So it took me probably about a week or so to really process and to embrace and become excited with the idea of us having another baby. Now, if you guys know me, you know I love babies. I've never pretended otherwise. I've been pregnant consistently here, and that's been something that I've loved babies. I've loved the blessing of them, and I believe that us as moms, as women, we have such a beautiful calling to raise and to disciple our children. And so that shouldn't be a surprise to any of you guys. I'm like, another baby? That sounds delightful. I just want to smooch and hold and snuggle a newborn for the rest of my life. That sounds delightful. But the things about pregnancy and postpartum themselves were the reasons why I really felt like we were done having children. I struggled so much during my pregnancy with hyperemesis, with having to get on medication for nausea and vomiting, and then having pregnancy depression, to then having postpartum depression. And I remember sharing with you guys that I really just did not want to bring my family on the roller coaster again, because it has never been something that has been easy for me. Not that it's easy for anybody, but it's always been something for me that I personally have struggled with a lot, is the hormones. And so coming into this, I felt like I've asked friends and family to be praying, to be my prayer warriors with me, standing on the battlefield, just armored up in prayer that God would just keep me, keep my family and this baby as I work through these hormones and as I go through this pregnancy. I feel like with this pregnancy, it's really been showing me that I have to be intentional about my time in the Word, about the people that I surround myself with, and about my prayer life. Because I've seen how easy it can be, especially just during those first couple days of finding out, for us to fill ourselves with these lies and with this fear and with all of these things that are really man-made. And you can hear me, I'm kind of out of breath, but I'm also a little bit shaky because I see how easy it is for fear to creep in and for us to believe these lies, and forget the truth that we stand on as daughters in Christ, and that we are co-heirs and we are victors in Him. And so that's what I'm taking through this. I am excited about this baby. I'm embracing this little one into our family. And honestly, I'm just believing that the Lord had better plans for us. And so I can't wait to meet this little one. I can't wait to see how this baby changes our family and how this baby changes the world and just who God has this little person to be. So I'm thankful that the Lord just stepped in and He worked and He moved, and He gave me this baby whether I was ready or not, or whether I was planning for it or not. And so I'm thankful for that. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy or that has been easy, but I'm embracing it and I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful for all of you guys for just coming along this journey with me. I can't wait to do pregnancy updates and share with you guys all of the things that come along with having your 5th baby. I never thought I would say that. I'm gonna have 5 children, you guys. I'm gonna be 31 in August and I'm gonna have 5 children. That is just mind-blowing to me. Once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I would love to chat with you guys down in the comments below. If you have ever had an unexpected baby, a special blessing that surprised you, knocked you right off your seat, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and I'd love to be able to connect with you guys. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I'll stay here for as long as I can, through the storms and through the calm.